Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everything is good by you. Everything is pretty fucking decent by me. I have some problems, of course, as you know, with the gang stalking and all that, and I know that you guys are also suffering with the gang stalking as much as I do. So I feel you. I definitely feel you. However, the reason why I'm making this video is to communicate with you guys and to let you know that it is not time for us TIs to be weak. It is not time for us to give up. It would be fine and dandy for our enemies, the gang stalkers, to see us defeated, for us to just give up, because that would make it a million times easier. And this is what they want. After all the torture, psychological, physical, emotional, and of all sorts that they have put us through, they would love, the gang stalkers would love to see us abandoning ourselves, giving up, and being weak to make it easier for them. And we are not going to make it easier for them. We are going to make it very difficult for them. You know, there is that saying, that the Greeks used to say, come and take it from my dead fucking corpse. Just because they mob you and use psychological torture and unfair advantages against you, psychological, emotional, physical, all sorts of torture and terrorism that is being used against you, is not an excuse for any one of us, targeted individuals, to give up. Don't give up. Do not give up. Resist as much as you can. Always resist. Do not give up. Don't be weak. Don't show weakness, and don't be weak. They will bring mobs of people against you. They will bring millions of people against you. Millions of people are coming against you, but they will still never fucking defeat you. If, and only if, you are, mentally strong. So there is no chance for any one of us TIs to give up and make this easier for our enemies. We should never make it easier for our enemies, and we should definitely not show any weakness. Don't be afraid of the cocksuckers. Don't be afraid of the gang stalkers. Stand up to them whenever you can. Show them. Show them your teeth. Show them your canines. Show them that they can't mess with you. And even if they do, and they can get away with it, you are not going to be defeated. You are not going to give up. You're not going to make it easier for them. It would be convenient for them that you should give up so easily. This is what they want. This is precisely what they want. This is exactly why they're doing what they're doing to you. Is because they think that we are weak, like them. We are not weak, like you. Had any one of the gang stalkers and perpetrators been in our situation, they would have thrown in the towel a long ass time ago. And we are never going to throw in the towel. We are never going to break. We are never going to be defeated. We are never going to crack. We are not going to be weak, and we're not going to let them win. And if it is destined that they should win, they are not going to win very easily. We are going to make it as tough and difficult for them. So guys, this is not the time to show weakness. This is not the time to abandon ourselves. This is not the time for us to give up. Don't give up. Resist. Giving up and showing weakness is not an option. At all. At all. There is a story of the conquest of Spain. Many people don't know this story, the conquest of Spain by the Moors. You see, the Moors, after the Moors had been conquered by the Arabs, they formed a legion of men and they went to attack Andalusia. Andalusia is in the south of Spain. And their aim was to attack from Gibraltar and take Spain. And their leader, one of their leaders, was called Tariq ibn Ziyad. Tariq ibn Ziyad. And what he did was he took all the men, all the legions, and he put the foot soldiers in Spain. And he burned all the ships that separated the Straits of Gibraltar between Spain and Morocco. And by burning the ships, he told his men, you have no options. You cannot flee. There is no option to flee. You have to fight. Fight, fight, fight to the death. That's the only solution. You cannot go back. And eventually what happened, of course, was that the Moors won and they defeated Spain. Well, at the time, Spain was under the control of the Visigoth. And they managed to take Spain. And of course, for 800 years, Spain was ruled by the Moors. This is a fact. It's a historical fact. Now, our situation is a lot like that. With the gang stalking guys, you do not have the option to be defeated. You do not have the option to be weak. You do not have the option to show any weakness. They will bring multiple people against you. They will bring millions of people against you. They will use psychological, emotional, physical torture, threats, intimidation, bullying, terrorism, domestic terrorism. They will use DEW in technology. They will spy on you. They will use DW. They will use V2K. They will use all sorts of technologies to mess with you. But it is not an option for you or any one of us to give up. You have to fight the fight. You have to, at the very least, stand up for yourself and resist. Just because the perpetrators and the gang stalkers are cowards and weak doesn't mean we should be cowards and weak. We should not be cowards. We should not be weak. Only the cowards would admit defeat. Do not throw in the towel. Do not throw in the towel. You have to fight and you have to persevere as long as you can. That is the only option that you have. If you are not able to find a solution right now to some of the problems that you're having by virtue of the circumstances, you have some problems maybe that you are not able to solve immediately. You will have to endure. You will have to persevere and resist and tolerate some things that you don't necessarily want to tolerate. But life is not always going to be on your terms. Life may not always be on your terms. You will have to endure and tolerate certain things that you do not like until the time comes when you can actually do something to fight back or to solve those problems. The mobs which are being formed against you, they want you to break psychologically. If you break psychologically, then nothing can be done. A broken warrior is not a warrior, because it doesn't matter if the warrior has a sword. It doesn't matter if the warrior has a buckler. But the warrior, if he is defeated, even if he has a sword, even if he has armor, even if he has a buckler, there is nothing he can do if he is defeated, if he is broken. So, you have to resist, you have to persevere, you have to endure through all the pain and all the agony and all the torture and all the suffering until the time comes when you can actually do something to solve some of the problems that you have vis-a-vis the gang stalking. Giving up is not an option. Why would you give up? Would you want to make it easier for your enemies? Do you want your enemies to win? Do you want it to be easier for your enemies to defeat you? No. If they are going to kill you, which they might, then at the very least you can make it as difficult as humanly possible. Now, as far as some of the things that have happened to me recently, I told you guys recently about the confrontation which I had at the McDonald's. You have to learn to pick your battles. You can't always lash out at people. You can't always fight with people at every time. You have to pick and choose your battles. Just because it is a long, drawn-out war doesn't mean that you have to fight each and every single battle, and you may not win every battle. But the purpose is not to win each and every battle. The purpose is to win the war. That is the purpose. So what happened recently was when I told you guys what happened when I had a massive confrontation with a lot of the gang stalkers at the McDonald's. They came, they did the usual provocation, psychological, gaslighting, verbal abuse, indirect provocation and taunting and baiting. And I managed to actually, I actually stood up to them and I fought back. I confronted and fought back against those 2 and 3 individuals that were there. And eventually, after 15 minutes of a confrontation, they bitched out. They got scared because they're pussies, and they called the police. Notice something, guys. We TIs, we never do the TIs ever call the police. I am never going to call the police. I don't need somebody else to solve my fucking problems. I don't need somebody to wipe my ass for me. I can wipe my own ass when I need to. I am not going to call the police to solve my problems because I'm not a coward. I'm not a pussy. And that's what they did. When you challenge and you confront and you fight against the cowards, the gang stalkers, they are stumped. They have nothing to say. And then they call the police. They hide. They run away and they hide. And then they call the police. And yesterday what happened, this is quite funny actually. One of my neighbors started provoking me, him and his wife. He sat there, him and his wife, provoking me, insulting me, calling me names, that usual crap, psychological bullshit that they do. And I went up to him. I got really angry. I was a little bit drunk. I took a knife with me. I had a knife with me. And I went to him. And I started cussing him out. I started yelling at him. I started shouting at him in his face, cussing him out. And I said, leave me the fuck alone, man. What the fuck do you want, man? Do you want me to come down there and fucking stab you to death? What the fuck do you want, man? Why are you fucking messing with me? Why are you fucking provoking me, man? And the guy fucking lost it. The guy got scared. Fucking lost it. He ran away. I'm sitting there confronting him and looking at him. He fucking ran away and he just went inside of his house. Hiding inside of his house. I told him, call the fucking police. And that's what he did. He called the fucking police. Police. Help me, police. And he goes and he calls the police. And they come into my house. They send 4 brigades, four police officers. And they come to my house. And they take my knife from me. They take away my knife. They look at my identification, my ID. And they placate me against the wall to make sure that I don't have any weapons or anything dangerous. To be honest, to be fair, the police did their job formidably. The police did their job as they should be, right? To be honest. They didn't use any violence. They were not, violent or brutal or anything like that. They diffused the situation. Placated me against the wall. There was 4 of them. And they took my knife away from me. Looked at my identification. And the funny thing is that I did not actually go to the police station. They didn't even take me to the police station. All they said to me was, look, don't threaten people with a knife. That's what they said. They said, just don't threaten people with a knife anymore. Never do this again. And that's it. I didn't go to jail. Nothing happened. They just said, don't threaten people with a knife and you're going to be fine. Because next time you're going to do it, you're going to go to jail. On some level, I feel that I do know that it is the government which is behind all of the gang stalking. It's definitely the government which is doing these things. But these are humans. The police officers are humans. And a lot of times I do get the feeling that the police officers do actually want to help me out. They do want to help me. They do want to help me and help the TIs. Now, I do not know exactly what your precise situation might be, but the police may actually try to help you because at the end of the day, the police is going to try to do their job. And that's just a fact. But what I want to say to you is never give up. Never give up. This is what they want. They want you to give up. They want you to be silent. They want you to be submissive. They want you to kneel. Don't kneel. Don't give up. Difficulties will happen. You're in a difficult situation. I understand. We all are. But there's always going to be, if you are perseverant and you endure, eventually you will find a solution, or you become stronger and more able to resist and endure and to maybe solve some of the problems that you have. I don't know what specific problems that you might have, but you might find a way to solve those problems in the future. Just because the going is going tough for you right now doesn't mean that things cannot become better for you in the future. Right? So, never give up. Never give up. Never give up. Do not let these people defeat you. If they want to murder you, and they probably will at some point murder you, I am not going to make it easy for them. I'm going to make it as difficult for them as possible, as humanly possible. So don't give up. You have to always fight. You always have to resist. And don't be afraid of these cocksuckers. Don't be afraid of the gang stalkers. A lot of the things that they do is just words. All of it is just blah, blah, blah words, psychological, emotional bullshit. They pretend like they're about to attack you. They pretend that they're about to kill you. They pretend that they're about to physically assault you. They pretend that they're about to stab you. Doesn't mean that they're going to. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to do jack fucking shit. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to do a goddamn fucking thing. And if they want to, let them try. Let them try. So you can stand up to them as many times as you want to. Because you shouldn't be afraid. Nobody should be allowed to live in fear. Don't live in fear. Your freedom, you have to fight for your freedom. You will not get your freedom on a silver platter. You have to fight for it yourself. And the other day, I fought with one of these. I fought with one of these gang stalkers. Right? He came. He was there with his wife, and he had like a dog, or I can't remember his child or something like that. And he comes and he was like provoking me and calling me names and that kind of stuff. And I came to him and I said, like, get the fuck out of here, man. I'm gonna fucking punch you in the fucking face, man. Get the fuck out of here. And he couldn't say anything. He couldn't say anything. Just remained silent. Completely silent. Couldn't say anything. He just kept trying to, he just kept looking down on the floor and calling me names and I'm like there, I'm like in his fucking face like this, like, hey, like I'm in your face. I don't need to look down and be like, they think these tactics are gonna work. Like, bitch, you don't seem to understand that the only reason why I didn't punch you in the face is because I don't want to have problems with the police. I don't want to go to jail. Because I don't want to lose my freedom. I don't want to go to jail because I don't want to lose my freedom. That's the only reason why I'm not attacking you physically. But you're sitting there and you're confronting them to their face and he's like, thinking that his stupid, silly fucking tactics are gonna work. You're not gonna do jack fucking shit. A lot of times these people, they like to cuss you out, they like to provoke you, but they're actually really surprised when you actually challenge them to their face and you confront them. They're really surprised. It's as if like they didn't expect it. They didn't see it coming. Like, what did you expect that I was gonna do? Just sit silently and do nothing? Another thing is, a lot of you guys seem to be very preoccupied with what your enemies are saying about you. It doesn't matter what any one of these enemies of yours are saying. I wouldn't give a flying fuck what any one of my enemies are saying about me. It's my life. I live it on my terms. I am the director of my own movie. I do things that I want. I don't care about your stupid ass opinions about myself. I don't give a shit what you think about me. That's your fucking problem. That's your own projections and insecurities and jealousy and all that crap. It's all here. It's all in your fucking head. It's got nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. Literally got nothing to do with me. I don't care what you're saying about me. I really don't give a shit. You say this, you say that, you provoke me, blah blah blah. I don't care. I really don't care. What can you do? All you can do is blah 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 blah. Talk. What can you do? You can't do nothing. All you can do is cuss people out, call them names, and then when they retaliate against you, and they actually come to have a confrontation with you to your face, what do? You run away and hide, and you call the police. Because you're a coward and a little bitch. Anyway, guys, I hope this has given you guys a little bit of motivation. Some of you guys may have fallen off their horse. Maybe it's time for you to pick yourself up and climb back up on that horse. Because life is not easy. Life is not easy. Suck it up, buttercup. Suck it up, buttercup. Life is not easy. And especially if you're a targeted individual, life is never going to be easy. And you just have to accept it and deal with it. If there is something, some way, something you can do to solve some of the problems that you have, then do it. Solve those problems. If you want to get back at your enemies, get back at them. You know, I've heard of people, I've actually heard about targeted individuals There were many targeted individuals in the past and to this day that I've heard their stories. So some of them would go and they would get back at their perpetrators. They would slash their tires. They would damage their property. They would break in their house and trash their fucking house and steal shit from their houses. Some of them have even murdered. Some TIs have managed to murder some of the perpetrators. Some of them have even raped the wives of the perpetrators. I mean, you guys understand the situation we are in. The perpetrators can do anything to you, anything that they can get away with, they can do to you. You shouldn't be afraid or have any shame about what you can do back to them. I'm not suggesting the use of violence, but I have heard of stories of TIs getting back and retaliating against their perpetrators. It's karma. Karma's a bitch. You mess with somebody, that person's not going to sit still and do nothing. They might get back at you. They might do something to fucking mess with you back. I have definitely heard about this. I heard about targeted individuals killing perpetrators. Some of them even became serial killers. You guys may not know this, but a lot of serial killers were targeted individuals. Richard Kuklinski, Ted Bundy, Eileen Wuornos. Many TIs have become serial killers, and they managed to kill and rape some of the perpetrators that were torturing them. I don't recommend that you use violence. I don't recommend that you do all these things, but I have definitely heard of TIs getting back at their gang stalkers, slashing their tires, burning down their houses, trashing their, coming inside of their houses, trashing their house, burning down their house, killing the perpetrators, all of these things that they have done. So if there is a way that you can get back at them, then maybe you can do that. But as long as you have these problems that you have right now, and you are trying to endure, you have to stay put, you have to stick to your guns. Don't budge. You have to endure, you have to resist. Whilst there is nothing you can do, there is nothing you can do. But when the time comes, when you have to do something or you can do something and you can solve some of these problems, then you go for it. You absolutely go for it. So that's the general message, guys. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. Don't let these people defeat you. Don't be defeated. I see a lot of you guys being defeated. Don't be defeated. Don't be defeated. Don't give up. Don't make it easier for them. All right, guys? Don't make it easier for them. Always resist. Always endure. Okay, guys? Always endure. Always resist. Don't give up. Don't lose that motivation. Throwing in the towel, being a bitch, being a victim, bitching out is not an option. I hope that you guys have benefited something from this. If you like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.